Hello, welcome to More Than One Opinion. This is Rhodey with my co-host, Ginny Day.
Thanks for joining us for another episode. Today we'll be chatting about one of the poll questions we put out there, which was, is chivalry dead? So I think most of from memory, the results were, it wasn't dead, but it's almost extinct.
Yeah.
It's diminishing quite quickly, yeah?
Yeah, look, it was a good feedback, I think. Yeah, it was a good feedback. So we touched on the reason why it was dead, or the reason why men weren't doing what they were doing was, we said, because generally non-traditional women wanted to have traditional men. And that wouldn't be fair on the man if he's a traditional man, but he's not getting treated from her as being a traditional woman. So that almost put pressure on the man that is traditional, that wants those kind of values, but isn't receiving it from her. And the woman that is traditional, but now because men are scarred, they don't want to be doing these kind of gentleman kind of sort of gestures, I guess, without looking too weak to her. Yeah. So I guess it stopped altogether because of that. So it's not that it was dead; it's that I think men were reluctant to do it anymore and be as good as they were, or as their grandparents, because they're not reciprocating, or they're not getting that back from the same woman.
The same values.
Well, they're not getting it back. She's just looking at them like, oh, well, he opened my door. That's, I guess he's weak, or he's too into me. No, he's just doing that because he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman. Yeah. So then the woman that is actually traditional, and she's like, well, these are the values that I want to give back to him as I'm giving, and as he's giving to me, unfortunately is missing out, because men are going, well, look what I get on TikTok. Look what I get on social media. Look what I get when I look through. They don't want this kind of men. Like they almost put it in that the man is too manly. Well, I mean, what's too manly? I don't know what's like, you know.
It's a hard one, subjective, right? Like everyone kind of has their thing, but I think another reason is there's a generation like that, right? So those who are Gen Z are like brought up in a very different set of values and environment.
Correct.
So I think chivalry is lacking more in that space.
Yeah.
I feel because they grew up in the dating apps, the social media, the quick gratification. So they haven't had to put in the work, the effort.
But they don't have to.
But then you're just playing a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right? You're playing a numbers game.
Correct.
So again, I feel like there's a mismatch of values and expectations on both ends. So the next generation of women, they want that traditional man, or the values and things like that. And they're not getting, the gentleman like quality. So what's the solution here?
Look, it's a tough one. I'll be honest with you, Ginny, because like I'm quite with a lot of the single men that I'm quite mates with them. I was single myself. I even said to my fiance, I said to her, I gotta be honest, if I met you now, this is nearly 3-something years later, I wouldn't tolerate certain things. I would just rather be single. Yeah. I'm happy that I had a little bit more patience, and we got good results from it because we're both good for each other. But I'll be honest, in terms of men dating these days, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guy goes, look, he had a guy ring him up and say, look, give me your advice. I'm talking to this girl. Everything's good. Everything sounds good. But now that she said, yes, she's happy to go on a date with me. She's saying, where are you going to take me? And she basically suggested the most expensive places. And he said to her, well, look, those places are about $600-700. I don't understand why the first date has to be that. Well, that's my value. That's what I think every man should do for me. Otherwise, I'm not going on a date with you. He said, but there's another one that I suggested to you, and it's about $300. Like, I don't understand why that would be an issue. And she said, no, well, you don't know, just because you're stingy, and then she just started attacking him. So what happens is men hear these kind of stories, or it gets done to them. Yeah. And they think, oh, okay, so I'm valued on what I'm worth, money-wise, nothing else, like there's nothing else that she's interested in. So then he backs off. I know men that are single now in their 50s and they don't want to have a relationship. men in their 40s and men in their 30s. They don't want to have a relationship. So, and there's good women. I know good women. So, but the problem is that they're so cagey now. Everyone's watching. Like, who's going to hurt me? Who's going to take advantage of me?
By bad
it's a tough one. I honestly don't even have a solution for it. I don't. I mean, I do have one solution where we suggest where we have like a networking night, and basically the night would be filled with people, good people that we know that are good people, and we basically suggest that, hey, we're going to do a networking night and let's get to know each other. And there were obviously a lot of singles there. Well, there'll be a lot of singles there that we know, that we handpicked. So that's probably the only solution I have.
Go to a matchmaker who knows you well, maybe, instead of dating apps.
I believe so, because to do what the guys are going through and the girls are going through now, men are thinking there's no more good women, and women are thinking there's no more good men. Obviously, those people need to find each other, and it's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Is. I think it's like finding the right people who are aligned, who are like have authentic, genuine intentions towards each other.
So tough.
You have to go through so much rubbish.
It's tough.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's a problem, and they've been so tainted and hurt. So they have this wall up. So
and then they come across toxic. Like they come across toxic, or like they have irritation with anything that other person says. Like they're irritated straight away. And it's not that. It's because they're so cagey. Either they've been hurt before, or they've seen what's happened, and they're thinking, no, I don't want this. Like, what is this? I don't understand. So why do you need to go to such an expensive restaurant? Okay, well, let's go halves on the bill then. Oh, yeah, that's not a manly thing to do. Okay, but you're not giving off a traditional woman side of things. Sorry, you're a virgin? You've never dated before? You've dated a guy every single day of this week so far. You're not a traditional woman. Right? I know women that literally date every day for a free meal.
Yeah, I believe that.
Can you believe that? So I'm sorry. That woman turns around and says, I want a good man, and why do you want a good man? But in normal level, you're for everybody. Like you're the village bicycle, basically. Everyone gets a ride. So then why would that guy think he's special taking it? And why would he want to spend money on you? Like, what are you giving him that's unique? For him to say, oh, yeah, I to hear it from 7 other guys that have taken you out over the last week and a half and say, yeah, I took her out too. Like, that's not special. So I'm not saying don't date. I'm not saying don't think. And I'm not saying as soon as you date, that means you're categorized as, you're a promiscuous woman. But what I'm saying is that if you want to give out traditional vibes, you get traditional men in both ends, and traditional women. But if you're not giving out traditional vibes, man or woman, then you're a player. That's really, you're a player on both ends, and you just want to have fun. And then you might as well just say that's what it is, right? You want people to spend money on you. You want to be driven in nice cars and flown to nice places. That's what you want to do. You're not really looking for a serious relationship. You don't want a connection. You just want the things that come with it. You don't really want a connection. So that's to me.
You have to vet those people out. You just filter those people
It's
out.
very difficult.
So I don't know. I think like the filtering, the vetting process is what people need to get good at, instead of like having this blanket approach, right? And if you're a serial dater, like you said, someone who goes on like 5-6 dates like a week,
crazy,
then you're really not looking for quality.
Not at all.
For both ways, men and women. So you can't be expecting like quality person or genuine connections to form.
100%. And the issue is this: is that imagine I'm going to date this girl on Wednesday, and today's Monday, and I go out and I see her out on Monday with someone. On Tuesday, she's got another person, and then what? It's just my turn on Wednesday. Like what is that? Is it like so? I'm not going to respect her. I don't care what she says. I don't care if she didn't sleep with him or not. I'm not going to be able to respect her. So I'm not saying again, don't date. Date, please date. Get it out of your system. Meet people. Get to know people. But what I'm saying is that if you're looking for traditional people, so if you're a man and you're looking for a traditional woman, then you better be a traditional man. If you're a woman that is traditional and you're looking for a traditional man, then yes, cool, you'll find them. But if you're not a traditional person, you're not going to find a person on the opposite end that's traditional. It's not fair. Like I'll see straight through you.
I see it as a high value person.
If you want to call it that,
Yeah.
yes, high value.
High value person who have those like sort of boundaries, standards,
Correct.
and expectations.
Correct. Yeah.
Like if you want a high value person both ways, then you need to like act accordingly.
Correct. So you said is chivalry dead? It's not dead at all. I think men are going to be very, very careful of whom they do it with.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm still traditional. I like to open up the door and close the door for my fiance. I like to do that. I mean, I don't do it every day if we're running late. But if I can, and she's dressed up really nice, and I don't want her to sit in a particular way because I know that it's hard for you guys to get into with high heels and short. So I'll help her into the thing. That's my job to do that. That's like I like to do that.
Yeah.
Now, if she thought that was a sign of weakness, then I would not be with her.
Yeah.
Why would I be weak if I'm looking after my queen? I mean, she looks after her king, right?
Yeah.
But if she thinks then, oh, this is weak, then she's not a traditional woman.
Yeah.
Right? So she shouldn't be with a traditional man.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
I agree.
So men have done that in the past and then have gotten negative reaction. I can do it myself. We know you can do everything yourself. We know this.
Yeah.
But did you want a man in a relationship or you don't want? Or I don't know what you want.
Yeah.
So this is the issue now that men are stuck in. And they're like, so what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I pay for dinner? Do I not pay for dinner? Do I sit her down in a chair before I sit down? Do I move her chair? Do I stand up when she goes to the bathroom? Do I sit back there? What do I do as a man? If I do that, am I going to look that I'm weak? Because she will interpret being a gentleman as a sign of weakness because she's from a generation that doesn't understand what etiquette and manners are.
I know, right? That's really lacking.
That's the issue.
You just you hit the nail on the head. Etiquette and manners.
So that's the issue. So this is the issue. So
that's what's lacking both in men and women.
So I don't think it's dead. I don't think, and I don't want to say women killed it because that is the actual saying that they say. So chivalry is dead and women killed it. But it's not that all women did that. It's the promiscuous woman has done that.
Yeah.
Because what she's done is she's gone after a nice guy, a guy that, and I don't say nice that he's just nice in general. He's a gentleman. He's been raised well. And she scarred him. And now he becomes a player. Because now he thinks all women are like that and they don't deserve this good side of him. So now he's a player. Yeah. Now he treats them like crap. And now the good woman that's actually looking for a traditional man thinks all men are bad.
Yeah.
Because of what's happened.
Tainted.
So it's a really tough one. I'll be honest, I went through that. So after my divorce, went out back into the dating game, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with women? What's wrong with these people? Like, I'm being nice to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're looking at it almost like it's a weakness.
Yeah.
But I was married before. That's normal for me to do that, right? To look after the woman I'm with.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit to adjust. It took me about 6 to 8 months actually. And then when I adjusted, I'm sorry, I turned into a bit of a player. Because I thought this is what they want.
Well, you were feeding off the energy they were giving you.
This is what they want.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to be treated nice. They say they want to be treated nice, but they don't really want to be treated nice because once you treat them nice, they think you're weak. And that's not the energy I want to give off. So I'm like, okay, this is what you do. And then you just keep them on red and you don't even answer their calls and you don't text back straight away. And I'm thinking, all these games, they don't know these things before. I didn't know that I'd have to do that. So I got to a point where I mastered it, I'll be honest with you. I could tell guys how to do it and they'll do it well.
I feel like people who respond to those kind of games, they're low value people. Of
course. And then you get to a point and you think, and you go, all right, but this is not what I want to be.
Yeah.
This is not who I want to attract. What do I do from here? Mm-hmm. So then I had to basically say to myself, all right, enough. You've done your player game and whatever. Do you really want a good woman? Because if you want a good woman, and this is what I'll end with, if you want a good person, so this is as a man, I'm looking for a woman that's a good woman, I have to be a good man.
Yeah.
Right? So again, what we said, if I want a traditional woman, then I better be a traditional man. If the woman wants a traditional man, then she better be a traditional woman.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to attract them. And if you do, they will see straight through you and think, sorry, but you're not traditional yourself. I don't want to be hurt. Right? And they'll back off. So the good people, you'll lose them. And the issue becomes you. So what do you want?
Yeah.
If you want that, you need to be that person.
I agree.
So now when people ask me, I'm trying to look for a good woman, I'm like, okay, cool, but work on yourself. They're like, work on yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, you want a 10 out of 10 woman? You want a 10 out of 10? You better become a 10 out of 10 guy. because that's not fair for you to think you're going to get a 10 out of 10 woman.
Yeah.
Vice versa for a woman.
Yeah.
So work on yourself, work on your character, work on you being you. Make sure that you're not toxic anymore. Because after the last relationship, you're quite toxic. Make sure that you've cleared out all these demons out of your closets, got it out, it's done, it's clean. Now you're a good person to meet someone. And that's exactly what I did. After 3.5 years, it cleaned it up, everything's cool. Then I met my current fiance. And it was just like connection, man, match made in heaven. Yeah. And I thought, how did that fall? I can't believe this. And I'm watching it. I'm trying to even wreck it, trying to think, no, it can't work. It can't. And it did. It kept working, and it kept working. I thought, wow. But I'll be honest. I was very transparent. I was very, very clear. I said, listen, I've been around and I've done things, and I'm sure you have. I don't want to know your past. Yeah. And please don't ask me about mine. I want to give you the best version of me, and I expect the best version of you. Yeah. If there's an issue, please go through my phone. Here, put your face ID on my phone and go through whatever you want. Clear out whatever you're not happy with. I don't want headaches. I don't want issues. I just want peace, and I want to give you peace. So if there's any issues where you think there's a problem between us, if there's something I'm hiding, I'm not. Here you go. Check it out. It's done. Okay, that gave her a sense of security, because that's eventually really what people want. Absolutely. Men and women, they want security and stability. Yes. Okay, so that means peace. That interprets into peace. Games. No games. So you want to sit next to someone, and another person's texting you, and you flip the phone back up, like this, and you put it on thing, and you've got passcodes on it, and what it. To be honest, that to me, you're not ready for a good person. Yeah. So the issue is you, not them. Correct. Right. You're only attracting what you are. Mm-hmm. So when people say to me, "I've been single for," I'm sorry, you actually are the problem. Actually, this is the real saying, and I don't want to be religious on you. God's protecting them from you. Yeah. Yeah. Really. That's why you're single. That's why you're single. Yeah. Because you're still toxic. Now, not because you're toxic because that's what you want to be. Mm-hmm. Maybe your ex made you toxic. Maybe your past made you toxic. Maybe your mum made you toxic. Your dad made you, or whoever in the past. But you need to fix that. Once you fix that, everything else will fall into place. You have to choose to do the work every day. But everything else falls into place. It's like, wow, how did I just meet these good people? I don't want to sabotage this and self-sabotage and stuff this relationship up. So work on yourself. Yeah. Make sure that you're a good person. Make sure you are the person that you're looking for. Yeah. Right? Like you're traditional, you'll find a traditional woman. And vice versa. So that's what I'll end with. Yeah. And look out for our networking nights, which will be called networking nights, but there'll probably be more dating and business networking at the same time. Bit of fun and pleasure. I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe.